So this is part 2 of a 3-part video series for Chicago Czech Center, and in this video specifically we'll talk about how to add images to the image gallery as well as doing backups for your website. So as you can see on the screen, I've already have 2 tabs ready to go. The first tab is essentially the website, so I can see what changes I have made. And the second tab is the backend dashboard. So if you don't know how to log in and get to the dashboard, I recommend you to check out the first video where I go into detail of how to do that. In addition, I am working off the dev server so that any changes that we do as an experimentation for this specific training video will not be live on your production. So when I go and mention dev5.revolutionchicago.com, that really means go to chicagoczechcenter.org, and that's what I mean by the URL. So let's get started. So in the dashboard, to edit the gallery, you will go on the left hand side menu and select. There will be an option called gallery, so go ahead and click on that, and I'll bring up the tab for the page, and we are specifically talking about this page, the actual gallery page. So I will show you how to add new events to this page as well as upload the images to those events. So the first thing you want to do is you want to click on so let's say we wanted to let's for example come up with a scenario. So let's say we wanted to edit the my new events. Let's say we wanted to change the order of it and have this picture be last. So let's go ahead and do that. You go to gallery and you want to go to manage galleries, and you want to select the gallery that you want to manage to edit essentially, and that's the my new events. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that, and as you can see, we see the images that do show up here. And then you want to sort. Click on sort gallery, and essentially it's a click and drag motion. So I'm going to click and drag this to be last, and I'm going to go ahead and click on the big blue button, update sort order. Once I do that, if I go to the main page and I click on refresh, now that picture is last. So that's how you add that's how you change the order of the gallery. Another thing that you could do, so let's go back to manage galleries and click on my new events, because that's the gallery I wanted to edit. And let's say I wanted to write a description for the image. By default there aren't any descriptions, but let's go ahead and make a description. So let's say after party. I'll click on save changes and refresh the page, and we see that all the other ones don't have a description except for the last one, the fourth image. So if I click on through here, none of these have a description. Third one, and then here's the fourth one. The fourth one has after party, which is what I wrote as the description of the image. So if you wanted to have a little description of what that image is at the bottom, that's how you would do it. You just go to manage gallery and then edit the gallery by clicking on the actual gallery you want to edit, and then putting in a title, a description in the image in the image description. So that's how you would do it. To add new images, you would go to add gallery / images. So let's say I want to add a new image to that specific gallery. I will then select the gallery I want to add image to. So I'll go to my new events, and then I'll click on add files, and I'll select some files from my computer. So let me just try to find something. I'll go to pictures, go to sample pictures. Let's say we want some desert, a desert image. Click on open. Now nothing's gonna actually upload until I click on the upload button. The other nice thing to do too, that you can do too, is you can actually highlight a couple of pictures. So let's say I want to add these 3 pictures as well. I'll highlight and you know, grab all 3 pictures, click on open, and you see these are all 3, and now I can upload them all at once. So I'm going to go ahead and click on start upload. And what's really nice about this specific gallery feature is that it doesn't matter what the size of the image is. It's going to actually crop the image so that they're all within the same size. So these, when they were uploaded, they weren't this size, but the plugin allows you to upload multiple sizes, and it'll rearrange the size so that they're somewhat all the same. In this case, they're all the same. This one has a description, so it's a little bit taller, but essentially all the images are the same height and the same width. So that's really nice. So we'll see that more in action once the 4 images have been uploaded. It looks like the 4 images have successfully been uploaded. So if I upload this page, we should see 4 more images in the My New Events. So here we are. These are the 4 new images. And if you wanted these images to be last, just go and you can sort them, do manage galleries. So these are just a little bit bigger, but they're pretty close. So you're not going to have such jarring differences. Now, if you want them to be all perfectly the same size, then you would just have to crop them with a specific software. The dimensions are basically what you want to specify them as. So it doesn't really, matter what the height and width is. I recommend just having the software just figure out for you. It's much easier. So what I want to go over next is how to create a new gallery. So let's say on this page I want to create a brand new event. So let's say we just had a new event and we want to put it on this page. And typically I think how this works is all new events are going to be at the top. So the older ones are going to be towards the bottom. So to do that, what we want to do is we want to create a new gallery and give it a name. So let's say Chicago 2014 event. Let's say this is the most recent event. I'm going to go ahead and add some files, and I'm going to try to choose some different pictures that we didn't select last time. So let's go with these 4. Click on open, and again, you would think they would upload automatically, but it doesn't. So that's so that you can go back and make changes, delete mistakes, or add more images. But when you're ready, go ahead and click on Start Upload, and you'll just have to wait for it to do its thing. And it might take some time depending on your connection speed as well as how big the images are. But it should be pretty fast. The images that you should upload should be less than a megabyte, unless they're really large. Then those could be 2, 3, 4, even higher. But typically when I upload images, I try to make it less than a megabyte so that it's easier for the website to resize it, and it speeds up the process of uploading. So it looks like all the images have been uploaded, and a new album has been created, the Chicago 2014 event. Now, if I refresh the page, that doesn't mean that event is automatically on that page. It doesn't work that way. So what we need to do is add this new gallery to that page. So to do that, you want to go to Pages, and we'll want to search for gallery. I think we specifically have two gallery pages right now. This is the first one, and there is a next for the second page. But let's say we want to add it to the first one. It's really the same process for which gallery page you want to make it. So we'll add it to the first one. And as you can see, this looks kind of similar to what we see on this page. It's just instead of the gallery actually being broken out into multiple images, it's just shown one in the back end. But we'll just go through the process. So since we have the new events, it's always gonna be at the top. We'll put our cursor towards the top, make some spacing for it, and we will call this the Chicago 2014 event. And we'll want to do a regular paragraph break, so that's an enter key instead of shift enter to kind of give it a nice spacing between the event and the actual gallery itself. Let me just close that. The next thing you want to do is you want to click on this little green icon. This little green icon should be the same icon that's next to the gallery. So that's the easy way to recognize what to click on when you're trying to add a new gallery to the page. So we'll click on this green icon. what we want to do is open up this little drop-down box. What would you like to display? Gallery is good. That's what we want to do, but we want to select a specific gallery. So we want to do the Chicago 2014 event. And we're going to click on Save. Alright. Typically, I think what would show up is the first image of the gallery. And let me see if I'm correct. So that's a canyon, and that's a picture of two people. Canyon, two people. So yeah. So when you the backend will always show the first image of the gallery. So if I update this page and I refresh the website, so we now see the Chicago 2014 event at the top, and the image gallery does work correctly. So another thing that I can see you guys doing later on, once there's more and more events take place, you don't want to fill it up all on the same page. You might want to create some next pages. Since we already have a gallery 2 next pages, what we want to do is what we could do is maybe move some of these galleries over to the next 2, and then also create a gallery 3 page. So let's go ahead and do that. So again, what we're going to do is move some of these order events over to the next page, and then we'll create a gallery 3 later on. So what we'll do is we'll highlight these 3 right here, and we'll copy, and then we'll delete them because we don't want it on the this page anymore. Okay, so if I refresh, it should just be these 2 events now. Perfect. And we're going to put those 2 events over on this gallery 2 page. So we'll go to all pages, and the gallery 2 is at the top. So I'll just go ahead and click on edit there. Remove that temporary placeholder and paste what I had copied. Click on update. If I refresh that, there you go, gallery 2. If you go back one, this is gallery 1. So we should probably put like a previous here. So let's go ahead and create a previous and actually create a next for gallery 3. So in order to do that, first thing we really should do is do gallery 3. And then I'll just put some fake text. So gallery 3 test page. And let's say I do want to do a previous. So if I do previous and they click on that, it goes to the gallery 2. So I'll create previous and then create a link. And I'll have that go to the gallery 2. Update, publish. And now I will go to gallery 2. Click on edit. Towards the bottom, this would be previous, and then next. And let's say we could do next, and then maybe right align that. But we want this one to be, not sure if you can do it with the context of, I'm trying to simplify this. I want the previous to be all the way here, but the next to be all the way over here. So let's see if there's an easy way to do that. Looks like they don't want to be separated without creating a new line. But that looks ugly. So what we should do is, and here's a tidbit that I didn't really want to show, but I guess I have to show it for the sake of making this work and look a little bit better. You could use an element called table. Make a 2-column table. Do previous, and then next. Let's see if I could do it without actually having to do any coding. So we want the width to be 100%. Perfect. And then have this one be right align. Good. Alright, so we can then grab this, highlight previous, make that go to, since it's the second gallery, we want this to go to the first gallery. So gallery, this one right here, and we want the next to go to the third gallery. So we'll click on that, click on update, and now if I refresh the page, we see we have the previous that goes to the first gallery. The first gallery has a next, and we should really shift that over to the right hand side. But so the first one goes to the second one. The second one we click on next should go to the third one, and the third one does have a previous to go back to the second one. So that's how you would continue adding on galleries, so that you can add more galleries to your website. So very basically simple. There was a little trick over here, but that should be something that you just do once in a while. It shouldn't happen all that often, so it should be reasonable. The next thing you want to do is talk about backups. So with regards to backups is something that unfortunately most people don't do until it's too late. So don't be those type of people. If you make a lot of changes to your website, and considering this website has an event system, I would assume that after any large event, or I would recommend backing up this website often. Could be every week. If it's really popular and you do huge updates every single day, then I recommend backing up every single day. The reason for that is that if something ever happens to your website, it is a scary thought to feel like everything's gone. So in order to prevent that feeling, you should update as often as you feel comfortable. So if you only update, or if you only back up once every 3 months, if something were to happen, you would lose 3 months worth of work, or 3 months worth of progress on your website. Okay. You could always rely on your hosting. Hosting do have backups, but it's always better to put that in your own hands, to have a plan B. So you can always, if something happens to your website, you can rely on the hosting to bring back a previous version of the website. I don't know how far back how often they back up, but you can rely on them to back up, or to go revert back to a previous backup. But if they're not able to do that, it's always good to know that you have a copy of your own website on your computer, so that you can provide to them to bring back. Okay. So, and a lot of things happen with websites. Sometimes they get broken into. Let's say somebody has access to this backend. They figure out your username and password, and they come in and they delete a whole bunch of stuff, or they added a whole bunch of new stuff, and you don't know how to fix it. Well, even though the website's up, but it's been hacked. It's showing things they shouldn't show. Well, instead of trying to reverse engineer everything that they've done, it's a lot simpler just to roll back before that hacking attempt has been made, and then up your password, up the security. Sometimes hosting, they just go belly up. Maybe they got hacked. It'd be in a bad situation if all of a sudden the server that houses your website decides to one day just cease to exist in the business world, and didn't give you any warning. Sometimes it happens. It's a scary feeling that all your investments on the website has gone away. So, and sometimes it could be something that you've done. Maybe you accidentally deleted a core file, or you did something really bad that basically broke WordPress, and it's kind of hard to do it within this admin tool unless you really know what you're doing. But let's say you did break something and it doesn't look right, or the website's not showing up. It'd be nice to have a backup of your website to revert back into. So hopefully I've sold you on why backing up is important. So in order to back up, you'll click on in the dashboard left hand side menu, Backup Buddy. Once you click on Backup Buddy, you'll be brought to a page where you can back up your site. I've always done complete backup. When you do backups, I recommend always doing a complete backup. You'll have an archive of all the previous backups that you've done in the past. Now, once these get really large, I recommend deleting some just so that you can free up some spacing on your servers. So I'm going to go ahead and delete those. We don't need those. Those are old anyway, so they're not worth keeping around. So those are deleted. And I'm going to, did that actually delete? Let me just delete some more just to make sure. Delete. Alright. And I'm going to go ahead and create a complete backup. And this will take some time to run. So I'm going to pause the video and wait for this to continue to finish backing up, and then we'll continue then. Alright, so the backup is now completed. I see that this has now been backed up 1 minute ago. So what this has done is basically created a backup of your website. It gathered all the files and all the programming, all the code, as well as the data, all the pictures, everything that you upload to the site, and basically compressed into one big zip file that's stored right now on the hosting server. So what you want to do next is that now that that file has been created, you want to click on it so that it downloads to your computer. Just because you have a backup on the server doesn't necessarily get you out of trouble. Just because if the entire server goes belly up or the hosting goes belly up, you're still in trouble because all your backup files are over there. So what you want to do is click on the most recent backup and download it to your personal computer. So it looks like this specific backup is 81 megabytes, 82 megabyte-ish. So that's going to take a while to download. You know, I'm on a fast connection, so it looks like there's 18 seconds left. So it took a couple seconds. Here are some other automated fashions. If you're not going to back up manually, and by backing up manually meaning after a couple days or after a big change, you want to go and you go back up, you click on complete backup, and once it's done, you click on the link. You could set it up to do it automatically, okay? But that's a little bit more tricky, and it also requires you to do some extra configuration. So let's quickly go over that and see what your options are. So if you go to schedules, you do have an option to have it automatically, you know, you could set up a schedule. So let's say, I'll just call it my schedule. Backup profile, always do a complete backup. You do have an option to do monthly, twice monthly, weekly, twice daily, twice daily, or even hourly. Daily would probably be sufficient for most people, for most small businesses. And you can go ahead and click on, if you're happy with that, you can click on add new schedule. And what that does is that it's going to automatically back up daily of your website. But again, it will have the backup stored on the server. So you don't actually have a copy on your computer. So if the server goes belly up or the hosting goes belly up, you're still in trouble. If they're not, but your website gets hacked, then it's okay. The files are still there. But it's always a better peace of mind to actually have the copy where you can access it, okay? So what you could do is, if you set up a schedule to have it back up automatically, you could also have it back up to not only the server, but somewhere else, okay? That can be done by going to server tools. I think it's server tools. Let me just check. Nope, it's not. It's actually remote destination. And you can actually have it stored in not only on the server that you have your website at, but you can actually store it somewhere else. It wouldn't be on your local machine, but it would be on another server. Because the idea is that the chances of your hosting server and perhaps Amazon going out of business at the same time is unlikely. So if you have an Amazon S3 account, you could set up this website to back up to that as well, or Dropbox. Emails are most likely not going to be an option for you because they're restricted to 10 megabytes. Your website's at 82 so far. FTP if you have another server. Rackspace is another cloud-based services, and local directory and FTP are other options. So again, if you have any of these features, you could actually have multiple features. I'm sorry, multiple of these services. The idea is to back up in multiple places so that in the event that one place goes belly up, it's unlikely that the other place will go belly up at the same time. So that's how you would set up automated backup, as well as having it back up to another server. So in this video, we talked about specifically the gallery, how to manage the gallery, as well as backup. So thank you.